Good morning students, welcome to the English class. I am Dr. Tripti Gupta from Shivjyoti Education Group Kota. So students, today we are going to take up chapter number 9 from your Beehive book, that is The Bond of Love by Kent Anderson. So students, before moving to our chapter, let us look about some information about Kent Anderson. So students, our author Kent Anderson was an Indian-born British writer and hunter who wrote many books about his adventures in the jungles of South India. Kent Anderson hailed from a Scottish family settled in India for 6th generation. So students, now let us move to our chapter, The Bond of Love. So students, our chapter The Bond of Love, as you can see the title, it is specifically talking about the love bond which is being portrayed and it is being described by the author between his wife and a pet sloth bear, Bruno. Okay, so our main protagonist in this story is a sloth bear which is a pet to the author's family. Okay, so here let us look about some information about the sloth bear which is being shared by the author as a prologue here. Okay, the sloth bears inhabited forested areas including the tropical rainforests of India and grasslands at the lower elevation. Sloth bears have very slaggy hair and long muscles. Okay, so using their claws to dig, they can then use their lips to form a tube which can go deep into the ground and into hard to reach areas like dead trees for their food. Their main food is termites. You can hear them suck up their food from several feet away. So this is all about a bit small understanding about the sloth bear. And now let us begin our story here. As I was telling you about the pet sloth bear, it was a baby bear when it was being brought to the family and it was being presented by the author to his wife. Okay, so I will begin with Bruno, my wife's pet sloth bear. I got him for her by accident. 2 years ago, we were passing through the sugarcane fields near Mysore. People were driving away the wild pigs from the fields by shooting at them. Some were shot, some escaped. We thought that everything was over when suddenly a black sloth bear came out panting in the hot sun. Now, this was an incident which happened around 2 years back, and the author shares this incident here that they were on a hunt and they went for shooting the wild pigs which were creating nuisance in a sugarcane field and on the request of farmers. Okay, so what happened over there? They were being chasing those wild pigs and everything was being sorted, but at the last moment what happened? There was a black big sloth bear which came out of the sugarcane field, and all of a sudden everybody was surprised by the presence, the way that sloth bear came out of the sugarcane field. Okay, so now I will not shoot a sloth bear want only, but unfortunately for the poor beast, one of my companions did not feel that way about it and promptly shot the bear on the spot. So, very momentarily on that appearance of that sloth bear, one of his companions who was also there on that hunt, he just very spontaneously he shot that sloth bear, and actually that sloth bear was the mother bear. Okay, so as we watched the fallen animal, we were surprised to see that the black fur on its back moved and left the prostrate's body. When we saw it, it was a cub. It was a baby bear that had been riding on its mother's back when the sudden shot had killed her. The little creature ran around its prostrate parent, making a pitiful noise. So, what they found that when that bear it fell down and immediately there was a small baby bear which was moving away from that dead body which was been lying on the ground, and then they realized that it was a mother bear actually, and it was carrying its baby bear also along with it. Now that baby bear, it was mourning and it was must be crying out of that shock the way its mother died, okay, around its mother's body. Okay. So I ran up to attempt a capture. It squatted into the sugarcane field. Following it with my companions, I was at last able to grab it by the scruff of its neck while it snapped and tried to scratch me with its long hooked claws. So, as to protect himself, that baby bear just escaped into the sugarcane field, and these hunters, this troop of hunters along with the author, they went inside that sugarcane field to find out that baby bear, and they managed also. Finally, the author, he just held that baby bear from the upper side of his neck and he brought it out, though it was been scratching trying to escape from his hold. Okay. So, after that we put it in one of the gunny bags we had brought, and when I got back to Bangalore, I duly presented it to my wife. She was delighted. She at once put a colored ribbon around its neck, and after discovering the cub was a boy, she christened it Bruno. So, that small baby bear was been brought to by the author to his family, and he just presented that small baby to his wife, and she was being elated and very happy to find that beautiful present as a pet sloth bear baby. Okay. And she discovered that it was a male baby. So, she christened, this christened word means she gave the name. Okay. Giving a name is the process that we call it christened. Okay. So, she christened that baby bear as Bruno. So, Bruno was the now the name of that pet bear. Okay. Now, Bruno soon took to drinking milk from a bottle. It was but a step further, and within a few days he started eating and drinking everything else. And everything is the right word, for he ate porridge made from any ingredients, vegetables, fruit, nuts, meat, especially pork, curry, rice, regardless of condiments and chilies, bread, egg, chocolate, sweets, puddings, ice creams, etc., 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 whatsoever was being available for eating, Bruno used to consume all the eatables. Okay. As for drink, milk, tea, coffee, lime juice, aerated water, buttermilk, beer, alcohol, liquor, and in fact anything liquid, it all went down with relish. So, he used to enjoy all the food eatables as well as all those things which could be drunk by him. So, in this manner he started consuming and nourishing itself with all those things. Okay. So, here the bear became very attached to our Alsatian dogs and to all the children of the tenants living in our Bangalore. He was left quite free in his younger days and spent his time in playing, running into the kitchen and going to sleep in our beds. So, Bruno was being a part of the family. You can see all his activities. He was very close to the dogs, and he used to play with the children also, and that playing activity, and they used to keep running around. He used to move into the kitchen, and almost every time he wants to find out some space in their beds also to sleep. So this was how Bruno was been growing up in a very playful and a joyous and happily in that family, author's family. Okay. Now one day an accident befell him. I put down poison barium carbonate to kill the rats and mice that had got into my library. Bruno entered the library as he often did, and he ate some of the poison. Paralysis set in to the extent that he could not stand on his feet, but he dragged himself on his stumps to my wife, who called me. I guessed what had happened. Off I rushed in the car to the vet's residence. A case of poisoning, tame beer, barium carbonate, what to do? Now, what incident actually happened at that time was, one day when the author, he placed some poison balls in his library for the rats, and it was a rat poison, barium carbonate, and that balls were somehow being eaten by Bruno, and it affected him. It was almost a temporary paralytic attack which was being like that. Bruno suffered with that. Now as he went, his wife asked the author, and he immediately rushed to the veterinary doctor's residence, and there he explained that this is an emergency where a pet bear, it has consumed barium carbonate, the poison. Now he was been asking what can be done in this case and how he can be saved. Okay. Out came his medical books, and a feverish reference to index began. What poison did you say, sir? Barium carbonate? Yes, barium salts or barium carbonate. Symptoms: paralysis, treatment, injections of just a minute, sir. I will be bringing my syringe and the medicine. So finally the vet, he consulted all his books, and then he identified the poison, and then found out what the after diagnosing that aspect, he just came out with the treatment which could be possible for treating the that pet. Okay. So with all his requisites and equipments, he just recovered all those injections and everything, and he just left the place for author's house. Okay. Hold him, everybody. In goes the hypodermic. Bruno squeals. 10 cc of the antidote enters his system without a drop being wasted. 10 minutes later, condition unchanged. Another 10 cc injected. 10 minutes later, breathing less stertorous. Bruno can move his arms and legs a little, although he cannot stand yet. 30 minutes later, Bruno gets up and has a great feed. He looks at us disdainfully, as much as to say, "What's barium carbonate to a big black bear like me?" Bruno is still eating. So finally the complete treatment was being taken up. He was being given 2 injections of 10 cc, 2 doses of 10 cc of antidotes of that barium carbonate, and after somewhere around after half an hour, he responded, and he was being completely out of danger, and he was being standing, and he started feeding on a vast meal, and he was being very hungry and strenuous out of that complete session of coming out of that he was being exerted during that treatment. Okay. So after that, see there, he was being breathing less stertorous. This stertorous breathing means noisy breathing, breathing with a loud noise. Okay. As if like we snore while sleeping, we snore. In that same manner, he was being breathing at the time when he was recovering. Okay. So now the way Bruno looked at these people was that what will actually, how a barium carbonate is going to harm such a black big bear. So in that manner he was been just looking at everybody, and he was eating his meal, okay, that he was been enjoying. Now another time he found nearly 1 gallon of old engine oil which I had drained from the sump of the Studebaker and was keeping as a weapon against the inroads of termites. He promptly drank the lot, but it had no ill effects whatever. Now what happened? Bruno, one day another incident happened, and what happened? Bruno found a complete gallon, a big tank of where 1 gallon of old engine oil was been there, and he drank the complete bulk of that engine oil, but he remained unaffected because of that engine oil, and nothing happened to Bruno. Okay, so the months rolled on, and Bruno had grown many times the size he was when he came. He had equaled the Alsatians in height and had even outgrown them, but was just as sweet, just as mischievous, just as playful. So gradually over the months the time was being passing on, and Bruno was growing enormously big in size. He had like he had grown even of more height than those Alsatian dogs, and now but still he was a very sweet, very playful, very joyous, and his behavior, he became very mischievous, notorious, very indulged in all sorts of playful activities. Okay, so now here even he was very fond of all of us. Above all, he loved my wife, and she loved him too. He had changed his name from Bruno to Baba, a Hindustani word signifying small boy. So there was a very close bond between the author's wife and Bruno, and out of a cuddly loving feeling, she just renamed him to be Bruno as Baba, and that was even a more loving name being given to Bruno. Okay, so and he could do a few tricks too. At the command Baba wrestle, he or Baba box, he vigorously tackled anyone who came forward for a rough and tumble. Give him a stick and say, Baba, hold gun. He pointed the stick at you, asked him, Baba, where's baby? And he immediately produced and cradled the affectionately a stump of wood which he had carefully concealed in his straw bed. So these were the various tricks which he used to play, and it was the part of all playful activity. So they used to give different commands, okay, to Baba, and he used to get into playing like he used to follow those commands immediately, and he used to come out with different sorts of activities like wrestling, and he used to just go for a physical fight with anyone whosoever was there, and then he used to just place a stick like a gun to be shoot like in a shooting manner, and then he used to also cradle the baby as an activity. Okay, so all these things were being playful activities in which Baba used to showcase. Okay, now then but because of the tenant's children, poor Bruno or Baba had to be kept chained most of the time. So as he was been growing big, he was of enormous size. So the tenant's children, they were at their bungalow, and they used to be fearful, and they were scared of Bruno. That's why just on a precautionary base, like on that basis Bruno was been just kept into chains, and that was a sad aspect about his being grown up now. Then my son and I advised my wife, and friends advised her too, to give Bruno to the zoo at Mysore. He was getting too big to keep at home. After some weeks of such advice, she at last consented. Hastily, and before she could change her mind, a letter was written to the curator of the zoo. So, what happened actually, since Bruno was been coming out to be of big size, and he was being chained also in the house, and to address to this particular situation, everybody was been advising, specifically the author and the author's son also and their friends also, they all advised that Bruno, the right place of Bruno will be a zoo. There he will be taken care well, and he will find a nice big place where he could be easily, he will be able to stay there in a more comfortable situation. Now, when she was being finally the author's wife, she agreed and she gave her consented means she said yes, and she agreed for this arrangement to be made. Finally, a letter was been written to the zoo curator. Curator means the caretaker. Okay, so the letter was been written, and so that they can send Baba over there. Did he want a tame bear for his collection? He replied yes. The zoo sent a cage from Mysore in a lorry, a distance of 87 miles, and Baba was packed off. So, finally, there was a truck. Lorry means a truck which was being sent by the zoo authorities, as they agreed to accept Bruno, and finally, Baba was being packed into that cage which was there in that truck, and he was sent to the Mysore Zoo, which was 87 miles away from Bangalore. Okay. So, now after Bruno was being sent away,